Coolio's talent manager, Sheila Feigen, tells TMZ we are saddened by the loss of our dear friend and client, Coolio, who passed away Wednesday afternoon. He touched the world with the gift of his talent, and he will be missed profoundly. Please have Coolio's loved ones in your thoughts and prayers. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ no drugs or drug paraphernalia were found at the scene of Coolio's death. An autopsy and toxicology test will be used to determine an official cause of death. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ paramedics were called to a house in Los Angeles around 4 p.m. for a medical emergency, and when they got there, they pronounced Coolio deceased. We were told police have opened a death investigation that as of right now, there does not appear to be signs of foul play. Coolio passed away Wednesday in Los Angeles. TMZ has learned the rapper who achieved enormous success in the 90s was visiting a friend late Wednesday afternoon when he passed away. Coolio's longtime manager, Jerez, says Coolio went to the restroom at his friend's house. When he didn't come out after a while, the friend kept calling him and eventually went in and found Coolio lying on the floor. We're told the friend called EMTs who arrived and pronounced Coolio deceased on the scene, and Jerez tells us the paramedics suspected he suffered cardiac arrest. An official cause of death has not been determined. Coolio, whose real name is Artiste Leon Ivy Jr., came up on the LA rap scene in the late 80s, but blew up nationally in 1995 when he released Gangsta's Paradise for the soundtrack of the Michelle Pfeiffer film Dangerous Minds. The song reached number one and played there for 3 weeks. While Paradise became his signature hit, Coolio had several others, including 1994's Fantastic Voyage, which hit number three on Billboard's Hot 100, as well as 1234, Something New, and It's All the Way Live Now. In other news, family speaks out after images of Alabama inmate go viral. Thousands of people have shared a post made by a Mobile woman who says she received alarming images of her brother from an inside the Elmore Correctional Facility saying, "Get help." 32-year-old Costello Vaughn is serving a 25-year sentence on multiple charges out of Baldwin and Mobile counties for unlawful breaking and entering a vehicle and first-degree robbery. I will say that these images are disturbing, and it looks like that he has had some sort of surgery. We're not sure if that's before his alleged starvation um, while he's been incarcerated or not. But upon her Facebook post, she says, "Viewer discretion is advised. My brother, Costello Vaughn, he's currently an inmate placed at Elmore Correctional Facility. I'm coming to you right now based on my brother's health is rapidly declining. As you see in these photos, he is extremely malnourished. In these particular photos, he cannot walk nor stand. He is weak and vulnerable. My last visitation with my brother was July 24th, 2022. He was in good condition. I am not a doctor, but his health is declining." And she showed images on her Facebook which are very much disturbing, way more than what you see here now. I'm going to post those pictures or that link in my description box. So if you want to see the rest of her images, you can. The statement also says, "What if that was your family and you got a picture of your big brother and your brother looked deceased? For his eyes to be rolled back and him just sitting there in general population, I'm like, this is a zombie. So the family from Mobile says when they last visited Vaughn in June of this year, he was healthy. But then they say about 3 weeks ago, Vaughn called his family complaining about stomach issues. That's when he told his family he asked for a medical treatment, and no one was giving it to him. And when they did, it was like the bare minimum. So the family says days later they received a call from an inmate who let them know their brother had been taken into surgery at the prison's medical facility. The inmate told them he had part of his small intestine removed. Um, we were even informed of the surgery. We weren't, she said. We weren't even informed of the surgery at all. This is from Casey Vaughn, his sister. The inmate said it was less than 32 hours. He was back in there with 32 staples going down his abdomen. The family said upon first knowing of Vaughn's condition, they reached out to the Alabama Department of Corrections, who had promised them he would be in good care. But after they received the disturbing images, the phone went silent. That's when they took to social media calling for help. WSFA 12 News reached out to ADOC for a response to the images, and they released the following statement. The Alabama Department of Corrections understands there is concern about the welfare of inmate Costello DeMarcus Vaughn. He is assigned to Elmore Correctional Facility, CF, but is currently housed at Staten Medical Observation Unit. ADOC's Office of Health Services has fully investigated the situation from a clinical perspective, and he has been offered all necessary treatment for his condition. Also, he has been in touch with his family to update the family on his situation. His family said in response to the statement, he's been offered all necessary treatment. Now, y'all are trying to treat him because he's on the media. The boy's been asking y'all for help. I believe that a prisoner serves their sentence, and that is the consequence, not them being subject to foul living conditions. Our main concern is we need medical attention. That's what we're shooting for. We don't care about anything else at this point. And this is from Leisha Foster, the mother of Costello Vaughn. Despite ADOC saying Vaughn has been in touch with his family to update them on the situation, they said they have not heard from him since his condition escalated. They also said they have not heard from ADOC. Once Vaughn recovers, the family said they plan to have him transferred to a different facility. Okay, lastly in tonight's episode, I wanted to give you guys an update on Florida. Florida has began recovering efforts as Ian moves through the state. So I posted some pictures from Instagram and from aops.com so you guys can see what's going on right now. These are recent photos, and this is a recent statement. Orlando broke its 24-hour rainfall recovery with 12.49 inches of rain. Collier County has issued a precautionary water boil notice for certain areas until satisfactory bacterial results have been received. Fort Myers Police Department warns residents in a Facebook post Thursday morning, which was this morning. If you're watching on Thursday night, it was this morning, to stay off the roads and that a local curfew would be in effect. There are hazardous roadway obstructions and live power lines down across the city, so they are advised to be careful. And lastly, this could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. President Biden said at a briefing this afternoon, adding that we're hearing eerily reports of what may be subsequent loss of life. Naples resident Beth Booker didn't hear from 78-year-old mom Carol for 24 hours. She tweeted photos she received from her mom before she lost contact, saying, "This is my family's home of 24 years. We've survived Charlie and Irma. We will survive Ian. Carol was rescued Thursday afternoon, according to Booker's tweet. Howard Source Rescue, a nonprofit grassroots rescue network, showed large swatches of red on its rescue map. So each red marker represents someone waiting to be rescued on the west coast of Florida. And since Ian, search and rescue operations have been underway in response to Hurricane Ian, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis tweeted Thursday, more medical personnel are being surged to the affected areas as crews work with hospitals operating on generator power, and two healthcare facilities were being evacuated. DeSantis said at a press briefing this morning. So Lee and Charlotte counties are basically off the grid at this point. DeSantis said of the widespread power outages, nothing. The counties would need rebuilt infrastructure. There are crews that are on their way down there right now, so they should have more information later on. Power for over 700,000 customers has been restored so far. Before the storm left the state, CEO of Florida Power and Light said during a Thursday afternoon press briefing alongside DeSantis. 2 p.m. this morning, this Thursday, more than 500 people had been rescued from Florida's Lee and Charlotte counties. And we've also had interruptions in the communications as a result of the storm. So if you have family members that are in Florida and you can't get in touch with them, just know that interruption of communications, has been going on, particularly in the Southwest Florida. We have 100 portable cell towers being deployed into the area. That will be installed once it's fully safe to do so. And this is a statement by DeSantis. So we're praying for Florida. Keep them in your prayers. There is said to be so many people lost and so many people that could have possibly lost their lives. If you guys want more updates on Florida, let me know. I know this is not my usual, but because Florida is close to where I live in Alabama, we haven't had any backlash or anything from the hurricane or anything like that. We had some strong winds last night, but that was about it. No rain or anything of that nature. So we're okay. But Florida is not, and so we want to keep them in our prayers. And again, if you would like me to stay on top of the Florida situation, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be glad to give you guys an update tomorrow. In the meantime, don't forget this weekend, Saturday night, we're going to be discussing um, the Facebook, not Facebook, but the Netflix series. Where did I get Facebook from? I guess because my computer is open. But anyway, we're going to be discussing Dahmer. We're going to be discussing Dahmer Saturday night. So hopefully the weather is good and everything is great. I do have a special guest that may show up, so I'm super excited for that. But in the meantime, if you have not watched Dahmer, I urge you to do so, especially for the Black and Brown communities. It's really important that you watch this because there are some things in there that I didn't need to know, and I just thought to myself, "Wow." I was really shocked. I was stunned. It is not at all what I expected, and so I thought this definitely warrants a conversation. So we're going to talk about Dahmer this weekend. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I will have more true crime stories for you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody, or a good morning, or whatever time it is that you are watching or listening to this. And I will talk to you guys in another podcast, live stream, or video. Take care. Bye for now.
Come on in, grab a seat, sip your tea, get cozy. It's time to go in with your girl locked in. Come on in, grab a seat, sip your tea, get cozy. It's time to go in with your girl locked in. Come on in, grab a seat, sip your tea, get cozy. It's time to go in with your girl locked in. get cozy. It's time to go in with your girl live. The Twanna Y'vette Show. Only on YouTube. Only on YouTube.